Hey everybody, Robot here from Vespa, Motorsport, and ScooterWest.com. Today I'm going to show you how to install a rear folding rack on your Primavera Sprints. This video pretty much applies to any of the other modern Vespas. So if you have a Vespa LX, a Vespa GTS of any year, pretty much exact same fasteners on any of those models. If you go back to the ET4, not really a factory rack still available for them, but pretty much if you have a modern Vespa from 2006 or later, you can still get the factory original folding rack. The reason you buy the factory one over, say, the aftermarket such as Facco, FA Italia, or Capini, the finishes are typically a little bit better on the original rack, and the fitments a little bit better as well, as I would say. So you can see this Vespa Primavera Touring is a 2003 model, comes factory with the chrome folding rack. If you want to buy the chrome folding rack, you can find it on the Scooter West web store. PR24PA is just a standard rack. Maybe you're looking for the classy white. This was originally found on the Justin Bieber Sprint. PR24PA-WH, and of course the black, which is the sporty option, PR24PA-BK. But if you just type PR24PA or PR24, you'll see all the variations of the rack. So let's get right to it. I'll show you how it's installed, and at the end of the video, I'll show you what functions you can use a folding rack on your Vespa. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and remove the rear grab rail. That's comes standard on all the Vespa Primaveras and the Sprint. Sprint's slightly different. They don't have this little cover, it's just a small cover, and there's two Allen screws under there. So it's a little different, but pretty self-explanatory. So go ahead and pull the pet carrier out from underneath the scooter. And all you need is some basic tools here. We're gonna start with the Phillips screwdriver, and right behind this cover is a single screw that holds this little cover in place, and it reveals two fasteners that hold the grab rail to the frame. So take your 10mm 1/4" drive socket. Make sure you don't slip, you don't want to damage the bodywork. I go between the two fasteners here. And once they're loose, usually you can spin them off by hand. And the last step is, this is pretty loose right here. There's a pair of fasteners that use your T30 Torx driver to remove. And kind of, when you remove that last fastener, you kind of want to hold the grab rail, just make sure it doesn't want to slide down the back of the frame. So the easy way is just lift this plastic right here and carefully slide the grab rail out of the way. All right, so here I have my PR24PA-BK, that's the Scooter West part number for the rack. So included with the rack is some new hardware for the rearmost fasteners, so you don't have to reuse those silver fasteners, and pretty simple to install. So this gas tank surround, just go ahead and lift it up and kind of get the rack between, and it's not unusual if I've seen many cases where things don't quite line up. I'm holding the rack in place, and in my hoodie I have the fasteners, so use that step Torx screw that we removed. We're going to go ahead and install just one of them here, get it started, and then you want to look at the other mount. And this one's pretty close, but there's many cases where I have to give it a little medieval twist, sometimes in the vise, to kind of get everything to line up. And then we'll look at these fasteners back here. They're actually nearly perfect, so we're good here. And you don't want to tighten anything down all the way, so just a little bit right there. Open that little included bag of hardware. So if it's a chrome rack, it's going to come with silver hardware, or you can just reuse the existing hardware. But the black folding rack comes with black hardware here. So the little star washer, then the flat washer. And make sure they start. Putting a little pressure on the rack so the holes are nearly lined up. Pretty easy to cross thread these into the back of the frame. You definitely don't want to do that. And I'll show you a little trick. Sometimes you could take a T25 Torx driver and use it as like a screwdriver and take extra care not to slip. Bottom both the fasteners out, just like that. See how I'm going right through this little hoop right here. And if you're not confident in your skills using hard rod, put tape all around this. Don't want to slit with a screwdriver and scratch the paint on the scooter. And then we're going to take a 4mm Allen key and just give it a couple more. And if you really want to get probably about 6 to 7 foot-pounds, that's all you need to go on these. There we go, that's perfect. And back to these frontmost fasteners. So unfortunately you can't really put that little cover back because they have this little strengthening rod right here. And that's the same case with the flat rack as well. All right, so go ahead and drop your pet carrier back in and make sure the seam is all perfect here. A lot of times I have a customer come in, they say, oh, the seat doesn't unlatch, and it's because the seat bucket's out of alignment and ends up just damaging this edge, distorting the bucket, and the seat doesn't latch all the way. So there you go. So that's pretty much all it is to install a rear rack. What can you do with the rear rack? Well, it gives you the extra added storage right here. So you can roll up like a small windbreaker and use the spring tension probably to hold it in place without any sort of bungee cord. Other options is you could fix it in the down position. You can put a basket, or even some of the top cases will work with these. Oftentimes if you do a top case, you're better off with a fixed rack and not a folding rack, but it is possible in some cases to install a bubble or a hard case top case as well. These are completely ideal if you're doing soft bags, like such as the Nelson Riggs bags that we sell at the Scooter West web store. You can also roll up a blanket, or put a box back here, and all you usually need is one bungee cord to go over it because the spring tension kind of holds it in place. The other thing is you get this kind of higher upper support right here. So if you have a passenger back here, you may think that may be uncomfortable, but it may give your passenger the extra security of having that extra little bit of a rack back there to stop them. Because a lot of times people want a cushion back here. You really don't need a cushion as a passenger. You're not really leaning into it, although there is an aftermarket folding rear rack that does have a cushion that we do have available as well, and I've covered that in the past. So the last trick of the trunk show. So I got some extra little goodies to show you. Originally, Vespa had this black clamp. If you search the Scooter West web store, 623576, there's a plastic clamp that's included with some of the scooters that come with a factory folding back rear rack. And the way this works is it's like kind of a nylon, has slightly flexible properties to it. And it doesn't work so well with these racks. The GTS rack, it works a little bit better, but it will fix the rack in place. My recommendation is to go with the metal rack clamps that are adjustable. And they're the same part number if you search the Scooter West web store. Come in several different finishes. So you have the black anodized, and we have the laser engraved Vespa Motorsport logo in there. You have red anodized aluminum and the classy polished aluminum right here. So let me show you how these work. Again, the same part number, you just want to search for the 623576. and you'll see the various metal options. They do have a piece of self-adhesive foam. I'd recommend putting that inside here. And the idea here is you can put this in place and tighten the set screw, and it will hold the rack in place in the down position or even the up position, say you don't want to have a rattle. And again, that foam is going to help make it sit a little more secure. So thanks for watching. Robot here from Vespa Motorsport and ScooterWest.com. I'll see you on the next one.